In this episode, we're going to be looking at one of those key word classes in English, nouns. Now, nouns are a very important part of speech, which refer to people, so for example, Queen Elizabeth II or Donald Trump, places, London or the White House, and things, so chicken or table. Why do we need to use nouns? Well, they are two things which every single sentence in English needs, and that is a subject, which is a noun, and a verb, the doer and the thing which is done. If your sentences don't contain a noun, then it's not a sentence. Nouns are very commonly used in English. They make up about 15% of spoken English. In academic English, this number is nearly double, so around 30%. So they're very, very important, commonly used parts of speech. But a very high percentage of noun usage is restricted to the most common 25 nouns. According to the Oxford English Dictionary, these nouns are as follows: time, person, year, way, day, thing, man, world, life, hand, part, child, eye, woman, place, work, week, case, point, government, company, number, group, problem, and fact. Another question, which is often confusing for students of English, is why nouns can have more than one meaning. And the reason for this is that in English this is possible and indeed quite common. So if we just think about one example, the word piece, for example, we can say both a piece of paper or we can say a chess piece. And this could also be an example for bank, where we say I need to go to the bank later, which is the place where you keep money, or be careful you don't fall down the bank. So bank can also mean a slope going down to a river. So again, very common when you read English or when you hear English words, English nouns, you need to think, well, which meaning of that particular word is being used. Another area which students sometimes find difficult is that nouns in English don't have a gender. So in many languages, nouns are masculine or feminine or neuter, but in English is not the case. We only really have that in pronouns where we say he or she or it. But in English, nouns don't have a gender. Another area to consider is that nouns can come from the same word family. That means they have the same root. So if we think about the word government, for example, we have the word government, which means the system, but we can also have a governor, which means the person who governs. And we often find words, nouns, coming from that same root. Is it possible to make new nouns from other word classes? Yes, in other languages it's not possible, but in English it's very, very common. So for example, with some verbs, we can add the suffix ing onto the end to make new nouns. So we might say winning is my life, or eating is my hobby. And that way we can turn the verb into a noun. We can also do the same thing with adjectives. So we can add CE, for example, on to the end of important to make importance, or violence. We can add ITY on to make popularity or regularity, or NESS to make happiness or laziness, and Y for difficulty and honesty. So adding these suffixes onto the end of adjectives. And with adjectives, we can also put a definite article before them to make a new noun. So we might say, I feel sorry for the poor and the unhappy. Last thing just to talk about is capital letters. Again, in some languages, all nouns have to have capital letters, but not so in English. Only proper nouns are capitalised. That means when we refer to people or places. Common nouns, general words like chicken, table, door, window, light, etc. These should only have a capital letter when they appear at the beginning of a sentence or when they appear in a title.